Imagine waking up one day to a world where every person of European descent has to return to their ancestor homeland. What would actually happen? The United States and Canada would experience the biggest changes. Nearly three-quarters of the population would vanish overnight. Cities would be nearly empty, economies would collapse, and indigenous communities would become the majority for the first time in centuries. Latin America wouldn't be spared either. Countries like Argentina, Brazil, and Uruguay have significant European ancestry. Their population would shrink drastically, leaving behind indigenous and mixed-race communities. Australia and New Zealand would also be hit hard. With the vast majority of their citizens having European roots, these nations would be almost deserted. Indigenous, Aboriginal and Maori population would reclaim the land, reversing centuries of colonization. In South Africa, millions of white citizens would live, altering political and economic dynamics. While this might reduce historical tensions, it could also destabilize industries where European-descended population still play a role. Meanwhile, Europe would face an unprecedented crisis. Countries like Germany, Italy and the UK would suddenly have to accommodate hundreds of millions of returning people. Housing, jobs and resources would be stretched to the limit. And what about identity? Many of these returners haven't lived in Europe for generations. Would they even feel at home? Probably not. So, the bigger picture, global economies would collapse, trade networks would be thrown into chaos, multicultural societies would be erased. In the end, history has made the world deeply interconnected, and doing that would be impossible. The world isn't just about where we came from, but where are we now? What do you think? Could a scenario like this ever happen? Let me know in the comments.